Hi, I'm Brad with Conservative Orthopedics. I'm going to go through a balance progression on the Bosu ball. It's going to look at some balance on uneven surface that's usually pretty challenging but pretty helpful in the long run to prevent injury and help regain some connections between our ankle, hip, and trunk. So the first thing I like to have people do is just work on single leg stance on something like this. So this thing is pretty unstable and a pretty challenging surface for most people initially to stand on. You're going to try and step right into the middle. And you'll begin by, you may feel this shake quite a bit. So having something near you, near a wall to touch is a good idea. First, you're just trying to regain some balance on the surface. So starting with 20 to 30 seconds, working up towards 60 seconds, even 90 seconds. I look for people to try and just hold their balance on here. And then as this is starting to stable out a little bit, the next step in the process will be to start to do a little bit of dynamic movement with your legs or arms. So the first sequence is going to be this sagittal plane, front to back direction with my opposite leg. So I'll start off by just bringing the knee up a little bit and the leg back a little bit. As I feel like I can control that, I'm going to start looking further into taking my knee up towards my chest and kicking this leg back. So the more that I move this leg that's off the ground, the more challenge. So starting with these small movements, and as I'm gaining control over it, I'll start going into more of that higher knee up. And even with this leg back, I'll start taking my head down forward into the single leg deadlift position. And just to show you what this looks like from the front, so foot's directly in the middle, okay? As I'm gaining control, knee up towards my chest, and then as the leg goes back, my head will dip forward into more of this single leg deadlift position. Slow transitions from one to the other. I can do a count, or I can set a timer and try somewhere in that 30, or up towards 90 seconds, even maybe 2 minutes. And this works into that just front to back sagittal plane stability, which is usually a good place to start rather than just standing here once you feel like you're getting comfortable with it. Follow-up videos will look at adding more dynamic positions and directions. Another option, instead of moving the leg, would be to move the arms. So if I stand on this leg, instead of moving my lower body, I can move my upper in the same kind of direction. This upper, overhead, and hands reaching down. Once again, overhead, and reaching down. And there is a middle ground here. So maybe if I start here and I start off with just doing a little bit overhead and a little bit down. Then the third option, probably being the most difficult, would be to combine the two. So as my knee comes up to my chest, my arms go up overhead. And as my leg goes back behind, my arms go back behind. So start off doing them separately. Start maybe just trying to stand on this thing, and then seeing if you could do leg, arms, and then maybe the two together.